episode of Got It Out the Mud. You with your host Kels World, 1/3 of the Got It Out the World. Got It Out the Mud. Shout out to Loren. Shout out to Jay Walk. That makes a full completed Got It Out the Mud. We finna get to this content. We have Loren Lorosa that came from the TMZ, basically telling people how she got on to Breakfast Club. So we checking it out together. Let's react together. Let's go.
What was the call?
I swear, what you've heard multiple times
I
is the
didn't
real
hear
story.
nothing, but I'm saying everybody says those type of things don't just occur. So
They don't.
If that's why if you got the call, cool. But
what call?
If you got the call and you just came up there, I don't know the story, but
we really don't know.
But I don't watch content, so because you got to stay there,
yes,
right?
Yep.
So tell me about the process. We can skip
She
on that
delivered.
if everybody knew about being able to stay there, and were you expecting that?
No, I was not expecting it. I'm really big on God. I talk a lot about God and my faith because it be that. Like you said, those things just don't happen. They don't. When I was at TMZ, I just knew that it was time for me to leave. I felt like I hit the point where like I wasn't gonna grow there anymore. And I also needed to get back closer to home, like closer to my family. Cause my mom had things happening medically and like, I'm oldest girl in the family, oldest child, but also the girl, my grandmother as well, and they're getting up there in age. And it was just certain things happening and I was just like, I gotta get to the East Coast. But I was like, what am I gonna do for work? And I used to jokingly say, if I'm not working at TMZ, it's gonna have to be my own show. I'm gonna have to be like at like a Breakfast Club, because who is gonna be able to handle my mouth? Like,
and that's crazy. She said that too. That what you speak into existence. So she actually said that laughing, jokingly, like damn, if anything I do, one thing I can do, I have my own show and go to Breakfast Club. Because basically, who can contain me? And look who brought her in though. As far as shout out to Charlamagne and DJ Envy for bringing her in, obviously into that world. But honestly, giving her that chance and that shot for her to go ahead and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? She's from the East Coast, which is great. You feel me? And it was like a hand in hand because her family's on the East Coast. Again, like she said, she was on TMZ, but she didn't feel like she was growing from the situation. So she, proceeded to try to see and make her dreams bigger. She said that she wasn't growing, so she wanted to be something big. So yeah, you reacting.
the way I talk and the fact that I'm not like traditional journalist, I'm not local news girl, Oprah. Like I don't give that vibe, but I can compete. But I'm not like a typical, like I don't check certain boxes that a lot of local news stations look for and all the things. And I didn't want to have to. Like I wanted to be able to wear my hair the way I wanted to, dress how I wanted. And Angela Yee said she wasn't staying on the show no more. And that went super viral. I reached out, set up a shot with her. I had the TMZ cameras come and run into her on her exit. And she just happened to mention that, because I thought that it had to be a celebrity that was going to take the seat. Just because the Breakfast Club is the Breakfast Club, and I didn't think that they would be interested in like newcomers whatsoever. And I jokingly said it, and she was like, yeah, no, throw your hat in the ring. And I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So from that day until the first day y'all saw me on the Breakfast Club, I did everything I could just to because I didn't know any of them. I didn't even know Angela Yee. I had cold reached out and just set up the shot, which was my job at TMZ, like just be able to get to somebody when you need to, get the content you need and get out. But I was doing stuff like if I knew, because I knew a lot of managers, publicists and stuff like that because of my news producer role at TMZ. So if you had an artist and I knew that was your artist and you had them on Breakfast Club or you was any type of publicist or anything that I thought you knew Charlamagne or knew Envy, I was hitting you like, here's my resume, here's my reel, send it to them. When you send it to them, screenshot. I want to see that they got it. So everybody was sending it back and it got to a point where
So she was definitely hustling up her position. She kind of honestly was positioning herself, and she was consistently about hitting up DJ Envy, hitting up Charlamagne, making sure her team that they was getting their resumes and all that. But she was consistently on it. That's why tell anybody to keep on chasing your dreams. They don't stop at a job that you're working right now, but you want to keep on chasing your dreams. It is show you to keep chasing your dreams. Let's go.
They were sending it back, and I remember one time, I forget who it was. I think it might have been B-Dot. It was either B-Dot or Karen Civil, B-Dot from Rap Radar. I had, same thing, told them like, yo, shoot this over to them. And it was one of them, Charlamagne responded to him, was like, yeah, we keep seeing her resume and tell her to hit Eddie. And I'm like, who is Eddie? I never knew who Eddie, I didn't know this was a person that I had to talk to. So I called my manager and was like, hey, they talking about there's somebody named Eddie at the Breakfast Club and that's he's the person that's going to like say, yes, I can come there or not. So we did some digging. She called some radio contacts she had, our manager, Tanisha. And her friend was like, oh, that's Eddie F. He's the executive producer of the show. I'm like, get me to Eddie F. Like, gotta talk to him. So we hitting him. Eddie is not responding. My mom had a doctor's appointment. So my mom's a cancer survivor. So I was flying in and out of New York just literally probably like twice a month from LA, just taking her to follow-up scans and stuff. So she had a follow-up scan. I'm like, I called.
Shout out to her mom for beating that cancer, man. Shout out to her mother for beating cancer. Any cancer survivors though, man, shout out to y'all for beating it, but shout out to her mother for beating that. Let's go.
I'm like, look, my mom got a scan next week, so I'm flying to LA next week. Flying to New York next week. If Eddie don't respond, I know where their studio is. I'm just going to go, and I'll sit there until Eddie walks out, and we'll talk on his way out of the studio. She was like, I don't want you to have to do that. I was like, well, I will, so we can figure it out, but I'm going to. She was like, well, let's just keep trying. Her friend ended up getting Eddie to pick up the phone, I don't even know how, and he agreed to meet with me when I came into New York, just to meet me. He was like, I don't know her. Before I throw her in the room with the guys, I just want to meet her. I came, my mom sat outside in the car after her scans. Me and Eddie talked for about 2 hours, and I was like, all right, bet he like me. Like, he at least thinks I'm cool. He know I'm not like, because I think people get scared when you say TMZ. So I'm like, okay, he knows that like I'm a okay person. So then I asked him off rip, I'm like, what would it take for me to be able to do the guest hosting? And he was like, you just got to be, not scared.
So basically, she chased down Eddie. She was consistently about meeting Eddie. He basically wanted to know how was she going to be besides before they go in the room, how was she was going to like present herself. He wanted to see her, perform or whatever. Let's go.
I need people in that seat who are not afraid, who can handle the room, whatever. And I was like, but how do you know that if you don't put me in a seat? And he was like, well, we'll see. We can figure that out maybe for a day. So he had gave me a date. The date changed like 3-4 times. I'm like, man, it's not happening. Mind y'all, I wanted to quit my job, but I didn't know what to do. So all of this is happening. Dates keep changing, whatever. And I'm like, okay. Not only do I not know what I want to do after this, but my plan was if I do get that one day guest hosting at the Breakfast Club, if I leave my job prior to that, I can let the world know, hey, here's everything I've done, and I need a job now, and I'm in New York, so like, where's the jobs at? And then I also thought about not quitting and just doing Breakfast Club, even though TMZ at the time, Harvey had told me, no, I couldn't do it, and saying there, like, I don't want to go back to TMZ.
So basically, Harvey told her no, he didn't want her doing that, going to Breakfast Club, trying to find a new opportunity. He basically told her no, like basically come back here, do it up over here, and I don't want you to find another home nowhere else.
I want you to do a Breakfast Club?
No, Harvey didn't want me to do the Breakfast Club.
Oh, wow.
He just felt like, first, he felt like he didn't know what to expect. And for him, and I understand, and I told him this in person, I'm like, I get it. I own a business as well. I own a brand as well. And I know that, like, for you, it's like protection. Like, you don't know what's going to be said. You don't know how I'll react. That is a very big room, very big platform. You just don't know. Like, I've done panels and stuff, so they knew I knew how to speak, and they put me on specials, and I'm on prime time and all that. But I think it's different when you can't control what's going to happen. So he was like, I can't take the risk. And when he said that to me, I just started thinking, and I'm like, I respect it, but if I stay here, I'm always going to be a part of his brand, his company. And as long as he can't take the risk on me, my career, my life depends on a risk, and he don't want to take it. So what am I going to do? And I remember sitting there and being like, I'm listening to him, and I'm like, it's not even no hard feelings, but I can't rock with that. Like, I gotta go. Like, that was my confirmation of like, no, you need to quit. Like, you need to resign, do it the right way. Don't just pop up somewhere and he done told you not to do it. Resign, let him know that, because I didn't resign because of Breakfast Club. That was already coming. My time there was just done. And when I resigned, he was so confused. Like, Harvey didn't really understand why. I remember he called me and was like, what the hell happened? What's going on? Because he's used to me, like, when something happens, I'm open, like, yo, I'm not okay with this. This person said this, whatever. They're used to that. Very sojourner truth to a certain extent. But he respected that I was vocal, so he didn't get it. He's like, yo, normally if something's wrong, like, y'all come to me, you talk to me. And I was like, nothing's wrong. I just think my time is done. And the arrangement in the beginning was give them a certain amount of time for them to hire somebody and, you know, like, so there's a transition so that they're just not left one less person. But I didn't really like the way that things were handled over the next couple days and just the way that I was like dismissed. Like Harvey wouldn't even speak to me after a certain point. And then I got called in the office by my boss at the time, who they ended up firing anyway. And he, you know, it was a conversation. And I don't know if he thought he was helping me, but I didn't take it well. Like he said to me, I think you should, because the conversation was about whether I was going to give them 2 weeks or about a month. And I said to him, I'll give you guys 2 weeks, but I literally can't afford to give you longer than that because, and I didn't want to tell him everything, but like, you know, I knew I had Breakfast Club coming up, but also too, like I had things happening personally with my mom that I'm like, yo, I got to be on the East Coast for this. And instead of me going there and coming back and doing all the things, it just makes sense for me to just go and then figure it out. And he was like, well, you know, I just want to, you know, I just don't want you to make things hard for yourself. And I was like, what's that supposed to, I literally said, what's that supposed to mean? And he was like, well, you know, like, you just want to, I was like, because if it's about the reputation thing and leave you guys in a good standing, 2 weeks is, you know, I think that that's enough time. Unless you're asking me for more time, but y'all are not giving me a time period. Y'all just saying, let y'all figure it out. He was like, yeah, I just want to make sure, you know, you're not, basically like, you're not damaging yourself. Like, you're not rubbing people the wrong way. And I kind of took that as a threat. So I was like, I left out the room and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. Like, y'all got until the end of the week with me.
Okay, so basically, man, shout out to Loren Lorosa. So basically, that was her story, giving her intake, or giving her thoughts about what was going on and her experience at TMZ while she was at TMZ, and she said basically that it was good. You know, Harvey did welcome her in with open arms and everything, but when it was time for her dismissal and her feeling some type of way about her working there, her having thoughts, her having her own thoughts about working and continue working, and when she just met that cement wall where she felt like she wasn't growing. She wanted to go to Breakfast, not even Breakfast Club, either have her own show, and you heard her out of her own mouth say, "Okay, you know what? I don't know who can handle my mouth." So either people like Breakfast Club, she spoke into existence, and I felt like her boss at the time, he didn't want her to go anywhere, and basically Harvey he didn't want her to go anywhere from TMZ. He basically was confused on why she wanted to quit, stuff like that in that nature. But you know, like you said, she had family issues and she had other things bigger going on and bigger dreams. So I just tell you not to even stop following your dreams at one point. You got to keep on chasing your dreams, no matter how long the journey seems. Just keep chasing them. And she seemed like she's comfortable where she's at, and she was like feeling like she had a bad fallout with him at the end because they was kind of confused and some people was putting the last boss her manager that brought her into the office to let her go or to relieve her had some smart remarks that she took as smart remarks. So I felt like she had every right to leave at the time that she did leave, Loren Lorosa. So shout out to her for chasing her dreams and never giving up on her dreams though. So yeah, man, go ahead and check the whole episode out. If y'all didn't see the episode, go ahead and run it back, man. But this another one like no other one. This another episode of Got It Out the Mud. Here we go.